Rybakina serving first, 15-love. Eala with a huge win against Donna Vekic in the first round. Donna won. Wow, what a forehand from Rybakina there down the line. Absolute ripper. Eala with a humongous win over Vekic in the first round, who won the Queen's title spectacularly, WTA 500 title. So they played each other recently, Rybakina and Eala, and I live streamed that match as well. Was on clay. Was in Rome, I believe. If I got that right, yeah, I think it was Rome. And that match was tough for Eala. I don't think she played poorly, but it was just one of these days where Rybakina was on. You know, she was serving well and dictating play. And there was a little bit of a hiccup in the second set, I remember, where Rybakina dropped serve to love. But I thought Eala actually served well in that one. She was able to hold serve quite a bit. Let me pull up the exact score of that match. Let me see here. Give me 1 second. Any of you guys watching World Cup? Anyone watching World Cup? I'm so disappointed. Croatia got destroyed. Well, I don't know if they got destroyed necessarily, but it was 2-2 in the first half. But they lost 4-2 to England, so that hurt. That hurt a lot. That one hurt a lot. Yeah, it was Rome 4-3. Rybakina Eala 4-3 in Rome. Yeah, it was a pretty good match from Eala, that one. But since then, Eala has been playing well. Really well. She has been, hold on 1 second. You know, she lost to Jovic last week, 2-2, and that's a story for another day. I think Jovic is a phenomenal grass court player. I think she can be very dangerous at Wimbledon. But prior to that, Eala won the WTA 125 in Birmingham. She beat Bartunkova in the final, beat Masarova in the semis. So it's a big title for Eala on grass. So like I said last year, I think grass might be Eala's best surface. It'd be very dangerous on there. She's very versatile, comfortable coming to the net. I think the grass helps her with the biggest weakness, which is the serve. So if she can utilize a lot of slice serves on grass, you know, that can make it trickier to return because the slice serve has a low bounce. Plus she's lefty, which makes it even more tricky. So I'm very interested to see how Eala is going to do in this match. So far, Rybakina on absolute fire. 1-love and love 30. On the Eala serve. Nick, do you have any tips on buying old rackets? Yeah, I'll get into that in a second. Let's lock into this match. We'll talk about rackets in a second. Old rackets, yeah, definitely. Sound forced error from Rybakina there. 15-30. Guys, 1 sec, I gotta check something real quick. I'm back, guys. Sorry about that. I had to check something. 30-all. Big serve from Eala right there. I think I watched some of her matches in Birmingham, and I watched her match against Jovic. She didn't play well there on that particular day, but again, Jovic was on absolute fire. And I think the serve is getting better. It's getting bigger. So Eala definitely on the right track. Nick, do you have any sponsors? You know what? I'm looking for a sponsor for the YouTube channel, like a main sponsor. But yeah, I don't know if you call them sponsor. I have a lot of affiliates, like the hydrogen proton ball machine, Diadem. I have affiliates, but yeah, I'm looking for a sponsor for the YouTube channel. But Eala holds right there with some big serves, actually. Some big serving. The serve has gotten better. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. Absolutely no doubt about that, guys. The serve has improved a lot. We're gonna... Eala is not strong on grass. No, I think it's the opposite. That's one of her best surfaces, grass. It's maybe the best surface for Eala. Listen, lefties on grass are tricky. You don't want to play a good lefty on grass. That's an absolute nightmare. You know? So here's the interesting thing that I want to talk about, though. What is going on with Rybakina? All right, because after winning Stuttgart, let me just go through the results after winning Stuttgart, and we'll go through that. And you guys are not going to believe the results. So she wins Stuttgart, and prior to that, you know, she won the Australian Open, was in the final of Indian Wells, where she had match point, was in the semifinal of Miami, lost to Sabalenka both times. Then she wins Stuttgart, so everything is cool until that point, but then she loses to Potapova in Madrid and doesn't play well in that match, even though Potapova played well. Oh, hold on, I got the wrong server here. Hold on a second. Yikes. Hold on a minute. Hold on a second. All right. It's all good. That match, she had a lot of unforced errors. It wasn't a good match. Then she goes off to Rome. Does play good and like wins 3 matches like in straight sets, destroying. And then against Svitolina was tough. That's a tough opponent. You know, Svitolina played well in Rome, really well, taking the title. And then that error-filled match against Starodubtseva in Roland Garros, which she lost 7-6 in the third. Especially that second set, she lost 6-1. That wasn't good. And then at Queens last week, she lost to Poulter, 6-4 in the third, and she almost lost to Maria again. Remember, Maria beat her in straight sets last year. I think it was straight sets. So yeah, no. Let's see here. Yeah, it was straight sets last year, 4 and 6. So look, there's a player that I regard as the best player in the world in 2024. I mean 2026. And it's been a little bit of a dip in form, but I think this is now the time to turn everything around. I was surprised with that loss to Poulter last week. Not gonna lie, I thought Rybakina might blaze through that tournament and take the title. So let's see if she can play herself into shape here, into form. Not shape, but rather form. And I still think she's one of the big favorites to take Wimbledon, as she has done before. But there's a question mark, you know? It's not so clear when it comes to Rybakina. And I do give Eala a chance here in this one. I do give her a chance in this one. I think it can be very tricky match for Rybakina. That Vekic match was really good. Donna Vekic is playing well right now. Eala misses a forehand inside out, a little bit wide. Love 15. Whoops. Guys, we're going to get into some of these questions in a second, okay? Let's settle into this match. I'll answer that racket question. There's another big serve from Eala. It looks bigger to me. Misses it. long, however. Second serve, slice. And Rybakina ripping. That's been the problem since Stuttgart for Rybakina. In some of these matches, some of these losses, it's just unforced errors, like wild errors. It's been it's kind of hard to understand the reason why, though. You know, it just came out of nowhere, the slump. But that's tennis, though. You know, like Sinner said, like he said, like, you know, they asked him, "You're gonna keep playing like this after Rome," and he's like, "It's highly unlikely I'm gonna continue to win every single Master Series tournament. Naturally, there's going to be a slump." So that's just the reality of tennis. It's impossible, even for the best of the best, to continuously play at the absolute highest level. And naturally, will be some slumps. Man, hold on a second. All right, there we go. 30-15. Important for Eala to take care of her service games, just like she did in Rome. She did a pretty good job there. We barely got anybody in here, guys. 27 people. But that's okay. We're gonna power through this with the few people that are in here. That's a humongous forehand from Rybakina right there. Huge return through the middle. That's a big backhand return right there. That's a Djokovic style return. So deep, so hard, and then, you know, Eala crouches down, deflects it back, and no chance on the other one. It's a complete blast. There's another return inside out this time from Rybakina. Wow. That's absolutely insane. These last two returns from Rybakina, play those back, unbelievable returning. That's why I put her as favorite for Wimbledon. Still, despite this little slump. And a monster serve from Eala down the tee, gets a looper back, and she has a easy forehand that she misses going inside out. Didn't time it that well, looked a little bit nervous on that forehand. And Rybakina gets the break. 3-1. It's because of the World Cup. Don't mention the World Cup, please. You're going to inflict pain upon me. Croatia lost 4-2 against England. It was 2-2 in the half. That hurt a lot. But we still have a chance. Ace for Rybakina. She's the ace queen of the tour, even though Pliskova is back. By the way, Pliskova back in the top 100. Top 90, I think, which is insane. It was started from 0 earlier this year. But yeah, Rybakina is the ace queen. But yeah, that hurt. But Croatia still has a chance. They still have a chance to make it to the round of 16. We shall see. But England played well. In the second half, they came out like almost possessed. Like they played so good. So it is what it is, man. You can't always make semis. Croatia eventually will lose early, you know what I mean? They were twice third place, once second place for a country of 3.6 million people. You know what? That's incredible. And Modric is 40 years old. So, you know, if we go out in the group stage, it's okay. We've done enough. We've done enough. We've proven a point. So taking the pressure off Croatia a little bit here. Rybakina serving well, blasting balls. 40 love. Does not look good for Eala early on right now. Another big serve, and it's a love hold right there. All right, let's get, you guys still have a chance. Yeah, we should be able to make it through, what is it? Ghana and Panama, right? If I got that right. So I think it's winnable, right? But you never know. You never know. Okay, let's go through some of those questions here. A lefty like Swalinska, she got a wild card in Wimbledon. Yes, and I think it's great that they gave her one. I was very surprised that they gave her one, especially after what they did to poor Tatiana Maria in Queens, who was defending champion. They put her in a qualies. I mean, that's poor form right there. But of course, that's Queens tournament. That's not Wimbledon. So respect to Wimbledon for giving the, you know, Roland Garros finalist a wild card. I think She gathered a huge fan base from that, so it's a smart decision. And I don't know actually how Paulinska is going to play now. I mean, you can look at it from a couple of different angles. A lot of times after a result like this, there comes a slump. Happens to a lot of players, including Sloane Stephens, for example, after she won US Open. So this could happen that all of a sudden now you were an unknown prior to the result, and now there's a lot more pressure, a lot more eyes on you, and you start feeling the pressure and start playing worse. That's possible. Or she could continue to do well. I think she has the type of game that can continue to provide big challenges to a lot of opponents. And certainly, as I've discussed with Eala, being on grass, playing on grass as a lefty is an advantage, especially if you have a variety. You can utilize slice on the serve, slice from the baseline. You can open up the court. So that's the thing. I'm glad that they gave her a wild card. What ball machine do you recommend under 1K? Oh man, under 1K, I don't know. The Proton is, I think it's like 1700, but it's a real high quality piece, you know. Under 1K, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Eala needs to get a hold right here. 15 love. There was another question about rackets. Hold on, rackets. Oh yeah, do you have any tips on buying old rackets? I can't necessarily stock up and I buy 5 rackets like you can. Well, eBay is a really good place, but people on eBay are crazy. I mean, sometimes they want way too much money for the rackets. Other times you can't find good deals, but I did find eBay way better. Like, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was better. It was more reasonable, but I think it's also the prices of rackets have exploded. I mean, it's like the rackets are now all $300. I mean, are you kidding me? Rackets used to be $200, like a couple of years ago, or even under that sometimes. So on eBay, it's not that cheap anymore like it used to be. So, one thing to do that I've heard is like if you go like garage sale, hopping or whatever it's called, sometimes you'll find some good rackets there. But if you're looking for a specific racket, I don't know any other place other than eBay where you can find them. And even there, it's going to be tricky to find. And trust me, I bought a lot of rackets off eBay because bought a lot of hyper hammers off eBay, tons of those. A lot of pure drives off eBay too. Here's a love hold for Eala 4-2. Let's see if she can make an impact on the Rybakina serve. It's going to be tough if Rybakina keeps serving like she has been so far. Nick, how do you think Eala's serve can improve outside the slice more? I think in the rhythm portion and the loading phase, there's like a little hitch in there. I feel like she could try to load a little bit more effectively and maybe alter her rhythm a little bit. That could produce some good results. I would look there. Like the Rybakina rhythm, for example, is very, very good. It's very good. It's not 100% continuous. There's like a little slowdown in a trophy, but in Eala's case, it's not only a slowdown, but a hitch. There's a hitch in there. There's a late pull up with that back foot. I feel like the serve has room for experimentation and trying to figure out what can work best, you know? Rybakina 30 love. Serving exceptionally well so far. She goes down to T again. Actually, it's 15 all. My bad. And double fault, 15-30. Down the T is Rybakina's favorite serve, especially on the deuce side. So if I was an opponent, I would lean a little bit there. She doesn't slice that much out wide. Like even when she goes wide, it's more flat. Nick, I did everything, but my forehand is still of my failure, my point of failure. What do you mean by I did everything? What did you do? 30 all. See, that's a wide serve, but it's a flat wide serve. Eala chips it back, but a very nice little forehand shot from Rybakina down the line for a winner, 40-30. There's good hands right there, very still hands. And this is the first serve long, second serve. This is Eala's strength right here, second serve. Double fault, second one in this game, I think, no? Back to deuce. Not going to call this a window for Eala. Still kind of far away from the break, but you can get this point right here. And Eala might start feeling the pressure. But it's just too strong from Rybakina. Big T serve. Hard, flat down the tee, and then a backhand cross-court winner. Nick, what are usual steps to get one ATP point? You have to get into the qualies first, which you can. A good return from Eala there and a backhand cross-court error from Rybakina deuce. Which you can. There are some qualies that are open, you know. You can get into the qualies, and then you have to go through the qualies and win one match in the main draw, which is extremely difficult to make it through the qualies, number one, and then to win a main draw match. Very difficult. Requires a high level of play. Wow, down the line backhand winner from Eala. She let her backhand fly, and here's a break point. Wait a second. There you go. What a backhand from Eala. She really unloaded on that one. Clean winner down the line. Very good. First serve into the net from Rybakina. Second serve, let's see what Eala does here. She does a very good second serve return. There it is. There's that second serve return with the backhand. Going inside in. She's one of the best second serve returners on tour, Eala. Incredible. Gets the break. We're back on serve in the first set, 4-3. Hi, Tatara. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta get something to drink real quick. Hold on. Okay, we're back, guys. We're back in business over here. Now, let's see how this match goes. Hopefully, it's going to be a competitive match. It could easily have turned into a, like a demolition from Rybakina, but like I said, her game is not steady as of late. A lot of ups and downs. Momentum shifts. A lot of mistakes that pop out out of nowhere. Okay, there's a good question there. What's the biggest issue with Rybakina to get really consistent in her overall play? Seems like she prays the forehand. Sometimes she can serve you off. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, when she's on, she's going to blaze through. She's going to win Grand Slam tournaments. She's going to win WTA finals. She's going to win WTA 1000s. But I feel like when it's off, you know, and as opposed to Rybakina, Sabalenka, her game, her shots are more low trajectory shots, and she doesn't change up the height of her ball as much as like a Rybakina does. She also doesn't slice. So that, when you're going full out like that, it's going to be close to impossible to maintain that level throughout the course of a year, as good as she is. And she doesn't seem to slow down when she's losing. You know, as we could see in that last rally, she's continuing to blast. And she was able to overpower Eala, who responds with an ace. Eala's serve getting a lot better. So, listen, it's going to be difficult to be critical of a multiple Grand Slam champion and someone of that level, because it's easy to say, oh, you know, you're ripping too much, just slow it down, put shape on the ball, get the ball in play. Another ace from Eala. She is serving well today. 30-15, this time out wide. So it's easy to say, oh, you know, your low percentage is get the ball in play. But what if that's the identity of a player? What if that's how they play when they, you know, when they're at their best? And that's just their identity. And when they lose their identity, they start playing actually way worse. They start being too passive. That's something to consider. So it's not as easy of a solution for Rybakina as people make it out to be. I'll just, you know, have a plan B. Certainly there are things that you can do, shot selection and the amount of power that you're applying and so on. But it's easier said than done. And a mistake, forehand mistake from Rybakina. We got 40-15 right here. What an unexpected turnaround for Eala. Eala goes down the tee, misses. Second serve. Forehand error from Eala, but from a humongous return from Rybakina. Tim Sounds, I'm here in Brazil. Happy to finally watch Eala live. Upset coming. You're watching live in the stadium? No way. Are you in the stadium, Tim? By the way, Eliza, who you guys might know from my channel, she was on my channel a couple times. She has a big Instagram account. She's in Berlin right now, doing some promotional work for the tournament. And what a hold from Eala there, 4-all. Incredible. Tim is in the stadium, and you got the live stream going. That's nice. I really appreciate that, man. Yeah, that's awesome. Got some nice weather in Berlin this week, which, you know, is not always a given in Germany. Steffi Graf Stadion, yes. Looks like an amazing event. I watched that short clip on Instagram from Eliza's World, and it looked like a fun tournament. All German tournaments are top-notch. Like, the Germans do such a good job with tournaments. The food is incredible. Germany is like great when it comes to hosting sports events. Like, the food is so good. I mean, it's like, compared to like a place like Miami Open, the food is like so good in Germany at these tournaments. Good return from Eala again. Like, Eala's return is something else. And that's an example there of a Rybakina shot that makes no sense. So Eala hit a very deep return into the Rybakina backhand. And Rybakina went for a down-the-line winner there. Just you couldn't be more low percentage than that. That's a very almost impossible shot to make at that speed. 15-all. Humongous second serve from Rybakina. And a great forehand return from Eala. Forces the error from Rybakina, 15-30. Rybakina going very, very hard on her second serves as well. Nothing that you can do there. Too strong from Rybakina. Big monster serve out wide, and then a backhand down the line winner. You're convincing me to go to Germany to watch tennis, Nick. Yeah, Germany is a good place for tennis. It really is. Especially back when I used to live there. I don't know how it is now, to be really honest with you, but I assume it's the same or better. Yeah, it's too strong from Rybakina right there. Too much power to handle. Comes in, cleans up the volley. .40-30. Found her best tennis there where she really needed it. Down 15-30, Rybakina. Another big serve from Rybakina, and Eala had the return on her racket, but hit it off center. Rybakina holds 5-4. Nick, did you see that Messi said in an interview that he watched Rafa's documentary? He said he related to him. I did see that. Yes, I saw that. The Rafa documentary was something else. I did a live stream last Monday where I talked about the documentary. Check that one out. It's an upload, like all the live streams are uploads in the live stream tab on my channel. So it was fantastic documentary. And like I said in my review, I feel like everyone from like the low level to the absolute elite level could relate to Rafa in that movie, because it was just so honest, you know. It was almost too honest in a way where it was tough to watch at times what he went through. So great documentary. You know, Wimbledon came quick. I thought we were going to have quite a bit of a break there with the 3 weeks, but next week the draws are coming out. Quali starting next week. Went by so quick. And you know what? It's going to be very interesting this year's Wimbledon. I mean, it's going to be very, very interesting because, again, just like Roland Garros, there's opportunity, big time for so many players. Question marks for some other players. Nick, if a current top 100 pro with skill lost all their points and couldn't get wildcards, is it just flying through challengers and futures? Oh, that's a fantastic question. So you're making a scenario where somebody that was top 100 would not get any wildcards at all, not even at a future, and would have a 0 ranking, which is completely unrealistic. You know, that wouldn't happen, but let's just say it did happen. Yeah, I think a top 100 player makes it back into the top 100 through the futures, starting with the qualies, through the challengers. I think there's a certain level that you have, and you can get it back. Whether it actually ends up being top 100 exactly, I don't know I don't know if I can tell you that, but that player goes back to a very similar level of play, between 100 and 200 or something like that. Let's say that. Or 50 or 200. It's hard to say exactly where the player would end up, but there's a certain level and a certain level of confidence that you carry with yourself when you were top 100 and you step on a court at the futures level. You're gonna do well. And even at the challenger level, it's a little bit different there. That's why I can't really tell you how high it could go, because sometimes it's tough to get out of the challengers with the way the points are structured. So you could make an argument that someone like that could get stuck in the challengers and not make it back to the top 100. But again, it's that you carry a certain confidence with you when you have reached a certain level. You have a certain level of play in all facets of what that level is: mental, physical, technical. And I think you come back to where you once were. I mean, just look at like Pliskova, for example. I mean, yes, she didn't go through futures or anything like that, but she started with a 0 ranking, and now she's top 100, you know what I mean? Eala with the lob. Rybakina puts away the overhead, 40-30. Eala needs a serve right here. It's tricky against Rybakina because her backhand return is so good. So you got to be careful with that slice. If you hit it to the backhand, that you angle it off and make Rybakina hit off, you know, the doubles line, or at least off the singles line. You don't want to hit it right into her racket because, again, her return is so good. And speaking of which, she dumps a forehand return into the net. Eala holds 5-all. I agree with you, Nick. My mom couldn't finish the doc because she was suffering watching Rafa again, but it's one of the best tennis docs. My fave one is The World versus Boris Becker. Is that the one where they showed all the injuries and he went to the doctor? If that's the one you're talking about, that's probably the best tennis documentary I've ever seen. That one stuck in my mind. It was incredible. It was similar to the Rafa one, actually. And I rated very, very high. Those two, probably top two. But there are a lot of good tennis movies, tennis documentaries. Love Means Zero is good. The one about Balteri, that was good. Let's see what else. Which other one was good? Can't think of it now. Alcaraz, that was okay. Was pretty good, but I wouldn't rate it that high. Same with Federer. I didn't necessarily like the Federer documentary that much. What is a tough volley there. Another lob from Eala. Overhead from Rybakina. Too much power there, 30-15. Okay, yes. Car Brazil. Yes, the Becker documentary. It was that one. Okay. I don't know if that one's still on Netflix. I would have to look. I would like to rewatch that one, but like Becker's body was destroyed even more than Nadal, if you can imagine. You know, it's incredible. I mean, the guy gave it his absolute all on the court. Return from Eala is something else. Exceptional returner. Draws another error from Rybakina. You know, one thing that I do want to mention as far as grass, this is where unforced errors are not going to be 100% accurate when you look at them in the stat, because that's a nice rally there. Nice rally. Eala runs down a lob and rips a forehand. Rybakina with a mistake. Break point for Eala right here. This is huge, guys. Break point for Eala, and we got 123 in here all of a sudden. What happened? We were at 23 before. Eala with a huge chance, and then I'll tell you what I'm talking about with the grass. Unforced errors. Let on the first serve. I'll make sure I'm all the way live here so we don't miss anything. Okay. And there's the error from Rybakina. A little bit wild error on the forehand. There's a break for Eala. She was going to be serving for the set against Rybakina. Too early to say, but if Eala causes the upset here, this would be one of her biggest wins of her career, because I'm sure you guys remember her run in Miami where she took out Madison Keys and Iga Swiatek. She took out Ostapenko. So she's had some big wins before, but this certainly would be the biggest win since the Miami run that she's had. Again, when it comes to grass and counting unforced errors, and even in this match, like, for example, when one of these players hits like a return that's like going through the middle of the court and it's more flat and it skids, and the other player makes a mistake off that, that'd probably be counted as an unforced error, but that's a forced error because the grass bounce is so much lower than other surfaces, and especially on these tournaments prior to Wimbledon, especially the ones in Germany, these courts are way faster than Wimbledon, especially Halle. Halle is way faster than Wimbledon, so I necessarily wouldn't count those as unforced errors just because it's grass. It's a tricky surface to play on. It requires incredible legs. I think the legs are the most important thing on grass. It's not so much like height and serving big, it's more legs, to be quite frank with you. Of course, if you have the legs and you're serving well and you can come in, you can volley, and you have the whole package, variety and all that, now you can be a beast on grass, but legs are key, and Eala's legs are very good. You know, she's one of these players that can hold her ground, she can stay low, she can redirect. If you remember Angelique Kerber, she was the all-time best with the crouching. And another wild forehand error of Rybakina. This is the problem for Rybakina, that sometimes, you know, she rips, she continues to rip, but the forehand just completely goes off the rails and she makes wild errors. That particular one was a frame shot. It didn't go anywhere near the court. 15-love. Hey, True Tennis Vibe, good to see you in here. I don't think Rybakina is recovering from injury. I don't recall her being injured. Strong forehand from Eala. She comes in, forehand swing volley, and she's missed it. You know, that's one of these shots that she's really good at. But there, she didn't prepare the way she normally does for a swing volley. She rushed it a little bit. See, on a swing volley, you know, you can settle down a little bit, take your time a little bit, let the ball come into the right spot where you want to hit it. If you rush a swing volley, it's a recipe for a disaster. Big forehand from Eala, and she misses another forehand cross court. 15-30. Is this 500 or 250? I think it's 500. I heard about some minor shoulder one about Rybakina. Okay, that's, I don't know. If there's something going on physically, that could explain some of the tennis that she's displayed since Stuttgart, certainly. She continues to hit big though, and there's another frame forehand. A blast return from Rybakina off a first serve of Eala, and then Eala goes down the line, another frame forehand just like the one on the first point. And it's 30-all. Wow. What a point here, guys. Break point or set point? A safe first serve from Eala. I think that was a tactical mistake, but Rybakina just keeps going full blast. Doesn't matter what the score is. 30-all, down 6-5. She goes down the line, winner, backhand, misses it long. 40-30, set point. Eala, let's see what serve she decides to hit. She goes for the T-blast. Big backhand into the forehand of Rybakina. Rybakina ripping. And Eala, for the second time in this rally, goes into the forehand corner and misses by just a little bit. And we're back at deuce. Rybakina did come in off of that. And it wasn't really reacting to this ball, so this would have been a clean winner. So again, Eala playing it a little bit too close on some of these shots. You know, selecting bigger targets would be wise, but again, category easier said than done. Always easy to say after you miss the ball like that, you know? Second serve. 117 kilometers an hour second serve is too soft. Way too soft there. And an error, again on the forehand. Set point Rybakina. I mean, break point Rybakina, add out. That's a humongous return from Rybakina. She's ripping so hard. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Look at this. And she misses down the line. I just really, it's tennis that's really incomprehensible, I'll be honest with you. Like set point down and just a disregard for control, just complete rips. I mean, hitting harder than Jannik Sinner and goes for a winner down the line, misses it, back to deuce. Eala did a good job staying alive in that one because Rybakina hit some of those balls very, very hard and flat. That's a big serve from Eala. She needed that one. She needed that one bad. And she got it. Set point. Okay, on the last set point, she went for the T-blast. What do you guys think? A slice serve? Would that be wise right here? Let's see what she comes up with. She goes kind of body. And again, a complete rip return from Rybakina through the middle of the court. She's made a lot of those today, but not on set point. Eala comes back from 4-1, where it looked like she was going to get blasted off the court, but errors started, creeping into the Rybakina game. And then wild errors as we got to the later stages of the set. Frame, forehand shots. Certainly, Rybakina didn't reduce the pace of her ball, didn't add control. But like I said, that's not something that she likes to do. She continues to go hard. And Eala did a great job staying in this set, making her play, serving well what she needed to, and most importantly, returning well. I think the Eala return is incredible. So this is going to be a very interesting match. Wow. A lot of people didn't expect this. They thought that Eala was going to get destroyed in this one, but here we are. She won the first set 7-5. Guys, give me 1 sec. I'll be right back, okay? Guys, we're back in business. Second set is going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting. Hold on. Who's serving first? Who is serving first? It is Rybakina that's serving first. Okay. Yeah. As much as I'm giving credit to Eala for playing well, returning well, I'm also just amazed at the ball speed of Rybakina and the unwillingness to throttle it down in important stages and just have the belief to keep ripping like this. It just goes against it goes against a lot of the coaching methodologies out there. And second set, she continues where she left off. She's ripping like absolutely crazy. I mean, some of these rips, it looks faster than normal, I'll be honest. There she sprays another forehand wide. It's just absolutely incredible. Eala standing very close on the Rybakina second serve, which is brave because the second serve is quite big. But again, Eala second serve return, I'll put it easily in the top 3 on the WTA. I'm telling you. You look at the second serve return stats from Miami last year, it was incredible. And even this year, in some matches, incredible. Like her second serve return is excellent. But an ace from Rybakina there, 30 all. I think the serve did. Okay, this is frozen here. Hold on. Another ace. 2 aces in a row. Hold on a second. All right, there we go. The serve certainly left her a little bit in that first set, you know? It's the 3rd huge first serve in a row. And a beautiful little forehand shot with a continental grip, a little steering shot cross court, and then a forehand put away volley 1-0. That's a beautiful service game from Rybakina. And, you know, when her game is structured like this, off that huge serve, and when she's tough to break like this, it makes more sense why she would play all out on the return games, or even on her own service games. If you look at it from that standpoint, it makes more sense, right? You know, like the Pete Sampras strategy of just taking the rhythm out of the opponent, not letting them play. So if you look at it that way, it makes sense. But then what do you do when the serve lets you down a little bit, you know, and first serve starts misfiring? That's when it gets more complicated. But if you look at it from that standpoint, Rybakina with this game style, she's not giving a lot of rhythm to the opponent. That's a fantastic point from Eala there. Oh, that lob is in. Eala fighting well. Eala moving well also on grass. That's something that I've said before with Eala that was a weakness, was her lateral movement. And she's moving really well on grass, so like the movement is good. Even the lateral movement. She's always a fighter too, you know. Eala fights for every ball, and she gives her absolute best. But I thought in some of the tournaments this year, her lateral movement was not the greatest, you know, especially on clay. It's a nice point there. The redirectory backhand cross court that you had to correct because she wasn't in the right place, but hits it so well, comes into the net. Rybakina sprays the forehand long. So definitely improvements in Eala's game, for sure. Second serve. What a second serve from Eala there. That's a very impressive point from Eala. First and foremost, that second serve. Very, very aggressive down the tee, and then forehand rip. Draws the error from Rybakina at 30-15. Guys, hold on one second. Sorry guys, I had a little bit of a cat problem, but nice hold there from Eala. 1-all. Rybakina with another forehand error into the net. This time, half-court forehand error. 15-all. But, you know, respect to Eala putting a lot of balls back in play in this match. A lot of balls. Big serve there from Rybakina to the Eala backhand. Another big serve out wide. Eala playing exceptional defense in this match. She's all over the place, covering everything. Rybakina trying to go through the Eala backhand, but Eala playing such good defense with the backhand with a little backhand pass off a shoelace rip pass. 30-all. Break point or game point right here. Big T serve goes wide. Second serve for Rybakina. There's that second serve return, guys, that I was telling you about from Eala. It's incredibly good. It's incredibly good. Rips it inside out, draws the error from Rybakina. Here's break point, 30-40. Wow. Guys, this is incredible what's happening right here. Not going to say upset alert yet, but certainly if she gets this point, putting herself in a good position in this match. Second serve again. Let's see if Eala can produce another very aggressive return. And she does. Going into the Rybakina backhand with some really strong forehands, and there's a break from Eala. No celebration. She has the poker face on. This puts into perspective how good Jovic is on grass too. Don't forget that, because she was able to take out Eala 2-2. You know, I think these two players, Jovic, Eala in Wimbledon, they're the ones you got to watch out for. They can do something. Next shit, clay court, zigzag soles not last long on hard court and vice versa. I don't know about that, actually. I don't know about that one. That's a tough question. I don't really like using clay shoes on a hard court. I have used them before. But yeah, maybe they're a little bit too grippy on there. I honestly don't buy clay court shoes that often because I don't really play on clay that much anymore. I would use them separately, to be honest with you. I would use them separately. That cat is so funny. Lucy's so funny. She's in front of the TV and just there's a golf commercial and she's watching the golf ball, tracking it. She's hilarious. So yeah, just don't even buy clay shoes unless you're playing on clay all the time. And just keep them separate for clay. True Tennis Vibe. I missed the earlier part of the match. Did Eala start playing better at 4-1 down, or Rybakina started making more errors, or a mix? I don't think Eala was playing poorly in the beginning necessarily. It was just Rybakina was on absolute fire, serving well, ripping winners. Then, you know, some errors started to sneak in. And then towards the end of the set, some wild errors. And I do think Eala's raised her game big time in that first set. Started playing some superb defense and just made Rybakina play. And she got the set. And a similar thing is continuing in the second set. It's a lot of errors. Does any type of shoe have any advantages in reducing the ankle twisting injury? Man, that's tough. That's tough. Talk to a physio, talk to a doctor. In my eyes, I think it's kind of a double-edged sword, all that ankle twisting stuff, because, you know, I've known a lot of guys that I grew up with that played with, what do you call it, ankle braces, you know, the ones that Andy Roddick and Andy Murray was wearing. And I know several of my buddies back then would like roll their ankle if they weren't playing with them, because I think the ankle got weak from wearing that. So you can make the argument, yes, double fall from Eala there, 15-all. You can make the argument that yes, that ankle brace is going to protect you from rolling your ankle, but it's also going to make your ankle weaker. And the same goes for like higher shoes, high top shoes. You don't really see those on tennis courts that much anymore. Agassi used to wear them. McEnroe used to wear them. Those, I guess, to a lesser degree, immobilize your ankle and would make it not quite as weak as ankle braces. Another wild error from Rybakina 30-15. But again, yeah, you get more protection there, but I think you're weakening your ankle. So again, talk to a physio and get some qualified advice there on what to do. I just sharing you what my beliefs are, and I never play with ankle braces or high top shoes, and I rolled my ankle many times, but I'm really good at falling on the court, and I never injured my ankle in the 40 years of playing tennis. That's not one single time have I injured my ankle, I injured my ankle unrelated to rolling it. It just got, it was really weird. It started hurting on the inside a couple of years ago, and it was really bad, but it was kind of a free thing. But I never rolled my ankle, okay? 40, hold on a second, 40, 30, man. Really doing a number on the score here. Hold on. Big T serve from Eala, second serve. A double fault there. That's one thing that still, with the Eala, the second serve is slow. It's very slow, you know? That's why I've always said, like, the first serve percentage has got to be high for her. And even the second serve, I feel like if she could slice it a little bit more than kick it, it would probably be better. Double fault there, 40-30. What a return from Rybakina. That was like, I would want to see the speed measurements on that thing. She absolutely ripped that return. Eala couldn't really do that much with it. What a ripper. Deuce. One final question on shoes. Have you seen carpet court soles? They look really odd, just flat with no grip. How does that make any sense? Yeah, I grew up in Germany. I grew up on carpet. I played on carpet from September through May. So most of my tennis was on carpet. And you can't play in regular shoes. It's too much grip. You have to play in those shoes. You play with regular shoes, you're going to be like gripping the carpet so much, you can get your feet stuck. So with those shoes, you can actually like slide a little bit, and it's because remember, the carpet gives grip naturally. So if you have grip on the shoes, it's too much grip. Hold from Eala over deuce. Very, very impressive. 3-1. So too much grip, injury alert. You have to use clay carpet shoes indoors. You have to do it. Random Tennis Gal says, "Hi Nick, I was watching this crazy match and I thought to check if you were streaming. I'm not getting notifications for some reason. I went away with Elena leading 3-1, and now Eala won the first set." Yeah, it's a crazy match for sure. It flipped so quick, you know. And as far as the notifications, I don't know. I don't really know what to do here. I don't know whether I should promote it more. I don't know what I should do, or just let the algorithm do its thing, or do a better job, or I don't know what it is. But I'm actually quite happy with the views, especially towards the end stages of tournaments. I think it gets quite a bit of people in here, and I think it's okay. So from that standpoint, everything is fine. I just don't think there's that much interest maybe for my particular channel or the way I'm doing these lives. I don't know what it is, but I'll keep doing them. I'm not really too focused on the views, but I wonder whether if there's something that you can do as far as notifications other than turning on that bell and get notified that way. I don't know, but right here, love 15, Rybakina serve. Eala gets a double break. Should be close to victory. She returns inside the baseline. And Rybakina gets a half-court forehand. She comes in and has an open court volley that she dumps into the net. Love 30. Yeah, that volley, she should have made that. That was an easy volley. The whole court was open. When did you schedule the live stream, Nick? I scheduled it this morning. So maybe scheduling it the day before, maybe? I don't know. That could maybe make a difference. I don't know. Second serve. Goes big on that second down the tee. Good return from Eala. Gets the net schola. She comes in. Oh, she got the net schola there. Man. Wow. Love 40. Colin, if you would have seen Rybakina in the first 5 games, you would have thought like she's going to win Wimbledon, blaze through Wimbledon. That's how well she was playing in the first 5 games. And then, yeah, I don't really know. The errors started to creep in. Big time. First serve misses by a little bit. Second serve Rybakina. This is huge right here, guys. And okay, of course, forehand down the line winner to save break point from Rybakina. She doesn't hold back one bit. 15-40. There's a monster serve down the tee to save second break point. Ace. 30-40. I'm telling you guys, this could flip on a dime again, this match. If Rybakina comes through this service game, watch out. And there's another monster serve out wide from Rybakina. She saves 3 break points with some excellent serving. Back to deuce. Yeah, I agree, Random Tennis Gal. That's why I say, though, she can flip this at any time. Rybakina can flip and start playing incredible tennis again, though. You know, look at these last 4 points that she played. Like, she's almost unplayable when she plays like this. Another, you know, huge backhand cross-court winner. Not winner, but shot that draws the error. Add in. Another ace out wide. That's what I mean. She has the capabilities of being like unplayable on grass, but it's the errors that sneak in out of nowhere recently, including this match that are causing her some problems. So again, if she just can continue to play like this, she'll get the break back at some point here and she can turn this match around. But will the errors creep back in? That's the big question mark. We shall see. My club has outdoor carpet with sand. On a hot day, it plays like clay. On a normal, like hard or rainy day, like grass. Yeah, that's not the carpet I'm talking about, T. Cody. That's we used to call it granulat in Germany. Or like there's different surfaces. You can't play with carpet shoes on that. You're gonna end up in a hospital. You have to play with regular shoes. I'm talking about carpet with no sand, just pure carpet. You need carpet shoes with a flat sole. For carpet with sand, regular shoes. Let's see if Rybakina can break back right here. Eala has the match on her racket. She's doing what she can do. She's playing well. She needs to continue to serve well. Continue to fight. Continue to make Rybakina hit shots. Be aggressive when she gets an opportunity, which is not so easy when you have an opponent who's blasting everything. You're more reacting rather than dictating. But this is the key right there. There's a huge first serve from Eala out wide, and she gets the cheap point right there. Service winner. That's been very impressive to see from Eala recently. The serve looks bigger to me. It's improved. It's gotten better. Second serve, no. But first serve, yes. At times, for sure, looks bigger. She goes big again on the first serve. Down the tee, misses long. Second serve. Goes big on the second serve. Draws a return error. What a second serve from Eala. Bigger than before. Than normal. Even though it's only 135 Ks, she's normally lower than that on the second serve. 30 love. I was talking before, the mistakes creeping in. That's unforced error from Rybakina right there. Second serve, even though it was a little bit faster, she ripped again and missed long. Eala goes kick on the first. Here we go, second serve again. Going through the second serve in this game, she's depending on Rybakina to give her errors, which is not usually how you take out number 2 player in the world, depending on them to self-destruct. Eala is going to have to take this match from Rybakina. She needs a first serve right here really badly. It was a good return for Rybakina on that last point. Are you kidding me? Ace down the tee from Rybakina at 30-15. I mean, from Eala. What a serve from Alexandra right there. Very impressive. 40-15. That was huge. Let's see if she can pull off another one. And she does. 2 monster serves from Eala to hold 4-2. Can you believe this? That's improvement right there. I gotta give credit where credit is due. 30-15. Up a break on Rybakina, who had just made a good return on the previous point, and you come up with 2 big serves like that. Very good. Is tennis the hardest sport to go pro in? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you. I have no idea with the other sports. I think it's very hard in any sport, but tennis, what makes tennis so tough is the financial aspect of it. It's the way you make literally no money. You're basically trying to stay alive. When you on the lower levels of the tour, that's what I feel like in other sports. Even though you're playing at a low level, at least there's a little bit of security there. If you're on a team in a team situation, or in tennis, you're just out there by yourself, trying to survive financially and trying to make it. That part is very, very tough. Double fault from Rybakina, 30-15. You know, also the second serve has been very, very hard from Rybakina, very aggressive. The whole game has been too aggressive. And I know she's an aggressive player, but it's to the point of being reckless in this match, I would say. It's just so incredibly hitting everything so incredibly hard and just making mistakes. Nice serve there from Rybakina out wide, and she holds 4-3. Hi Nick, would you choose PD 100 or PA 100 for someone that plays mainly on clay? Octavio, check out my video from yesterday. It's funny you say that. I just compared those two rackets. And I did give advice at the end on who the racket is suited for. So it's not dependent on the surface so much, but it's rather dependent on your clay style. On your play style, not clay style. If you're someone that is more of a flat ball striker, go with the PD independent of surface. And if you're someone that plays with more spins, slices, top spin on the ground strokes, kick serve, slice serves, if that's a big part of your game, then the PA 100 would be better. So don't look at it from a surface standpoint, just your game, because you want to be able to maximize your game. Lexi is a fan of both of these players. Yeah, that's tough. When two of your favorite players play against each other, that's very tough. Especially when they play each other in the second round, you know? That's very tough. Henning, how do you not hit too hard? I'm a player. I play like Rybakina. No, I like Rybakina a lot. Oh no, wait. I am like Rybakina a lot too. Okay, got it. It's not so easy to answer your question. I mean, the simple answer is like just, slow down, put spin on it, add height over the net, but it's not so easy. Because how much you do that as a forehand down the line error from Rybakina, 15 love. There was an unforced error there because of a short backhand from Eala. See, if you're someone that plays aggressive and let's go on the shots, and then is told to play with more spin, play with more height, maybe you do it too much and you start playing too passively. I've seen this a lot. So you could take smaller adjustments, make smaller adjustments, and just continue to hit hard, but in safer targets, and maybe not go for a winner, but rather, use the center of the court, use big areas of the court to hit into. Start with that, because you can see even here in this match, Rybakina is missing a lot, but she's not missing that much when she goes through the middle. Like she had a phenomenal return there, but again, brother, defense from Eala. Crouching down, Kerber style. Rybakina goes down the line, rip, and Eala hits a forehand cross-court winner on the run. Very impressive from Eala. So to answer your question, start with big targets. Start without trying to hit a winner on everything. And if that doesn't work, look into maybe adding a little bit more spin, but in an aggressive sense, because you don't want to lose your identity as a player if you happen to be an aggressive player. Because you might start playing too passively and do even worse. 40 love, another backhand error from Rybakina. Rybakina doing exactly what Eala needs. She's giving her a lot of unforced errors. That second point from Eala in this game was spectacular, you know, but just too many unforced from Rybakina. 40 love. Big serve from Eala. Another huge return from Rybakina. And another forehand blast cross court. So hard from Rybakina. 40-15. That return is incredible. That middle return from Rybakina. And then to follow it up with a huge winner. That's how Rybakina is like a favorite to win Wimbledon, you know. But we've seen that there's another side of Rybakina. Another forehand error. This time she does miss a ball going through the center of the court. Into the net, 5-3. Eala, one game away of causing one of the biggest upsets of her career. The biggest upsets since the Miami tournament. Huge hitting from Eala right here. Huge hitting on this rally. She's going to try to take it right here, guys. Nick, what could be the reason for Rybakina unforced errors increasing at this level? I don't know. I don't know. At the 4-1 in the first set, I don't know what caused that. You have to talk to her and find out what she was thinking, what was going on in her head during that time. Maybe it's a lack of focus. I don't know what it is. Yeah, Octavio, I agree with you. GMP is not doing as well as he did early. I think people have figured him out. I do think so. When he first came out, he won that tournament in Lyon. You know, he won Basel that year. And I feel that maybe not on the serve, because there's only so much you can do on a serve. You like a guy like Mute. I watched that match. Mute, there's a huge ace from Rybakina, 193. Pericard against Mute in Queens. You can just feel that Mute could hold serve the whole match, you know, and that wasn't necessarily true maybe early when Pericard came on tour. So I feel like people have figured out how to hold serve against him. And, you know, he's not going to serve great every single match. And people just get into a tiebreak with him or manage to break him, and they are able to hold serve. So he's struggled quite a bit, Pericard. He has. I feel that his return game was better, was more unpredictable early. 30 all, guys. Either game point or match point. Huge first serve from Rybakina, misses it. Going down the tee, second serve. Says Rybakina is still your favorite for Wimbledon. Double fault. That's a very good question. Double fault, match point Eala. I said one of the favorites. I don't know. I mean, this is certainly something I'm going to take into consideration, but I always wait until the draw comes out. We'll go from there, guys. We'll go from there. Huge first serve from Rybakina and a forehand winner to save match point back to deuce. I mean, she's ripping her forehand like she's angry at it. I mean, that forehand was so hard. The one she just hit a huge first serve and just a complete rip. So long and risky. but she gets it in. It's a add in. I'm not clapping. I know now that Lucy was staring at. It's some kind of mosquito in here or something got in here. Another huge serve from Rybakina, and she holds. Eala's going to have to serve this out. Eala's going to have to serve this out. Yeah, that's a funny question. Is Rybakina still your favorite for Wimbledon? Well, thank you for being here the whole live stream, if this is in context to what I said earlier. Yeah, well, let's see. I'm super excited about the draw coming out, and there's a lot of question marks this year's Wimbledon. I'm excited to start talking about it on my channel. I'll start discussing it probably after this week heavily. We're going to start talking Wimbledon, the most prestigious tournament of the year. So we'll see about that. Certainly, we have to take these tournaments into consideration. What's the ceiling for Eala this year on slams? Quarterfinal possible. Look, she's about to take out Rybakina, so obviously, and she's taken out like Swiatek and Keys in Miami last year. So, you know, people have started writing a lot of negative things about Eala, even in my videos, like overhyped. Same things that we're talking about Fonseca. Maybe even worse to some extent. This is a super talented player and capable of doing big things on tour. I don't think quarterfinal of Grand Slam is a ceiling. I think she's going to continue to get better. She's a fighter. Like I said in my videos, I thought the movement was a weakness. I feel like it's getting a little bit better. First serve looks better to me. Second serve is still a problem. It's still very soft. But on grass, with it being lefty, maybe not as much of a weakness, you know? And Eala misses a forehand long on the first point, love 15. So I'm not here to tell you that she can win a Grand Slam. I think she's far away from that, but she can go deep in a Grand Slam tournament with the right draw. I think quarterfinal could be possible. I don't know, fourth round maybe. We shall see. That was a huge serve from Eala there. Clips the net. Another big serve from Eala right there into the Rybakina backhand, and it's 15-all. Draws the return error from Rybakina. 3 points away. True Tennis Vibe wants to see a third set. And you don't know. It could happen. Rybakina could turn it on and start producing winners. There's a very good return right there, inside out with the backhand, 15-30. 15-30. Oh. I'm telling you guys, the first serve of Eala has gotten better. Ace, down 15-30. T-ace, flat, hard, 171 kilometers an hour. Eala delivers that down 15-30. 2 points away from the win. Another huge serve. Backhand rip from Eala into the Rybakina forehand. Rybakina sprays the forehand again, and it's 40-30. Match point Eala. Wow. Forehand letting Rybakina down, but the serve helping Eala out a lot. Let's see what she comes up with on match point. Will it be another T-blast? Or will it be a slider out wide? She doesn't do those that often. I'm expecting another T-blast. She goes for the body blast. Rybakina gets it back. Eala cross-court forehand, and it's out! Eala takes out Rybakina. This is incredible. Who would have predicted this? Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I can't believe this. Gotta be honest with you guys. This is incredible. What a performance. What a performance, guys. She's a fantastic grass court player, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Lema Raducandes. Love the username. Love the username. It's incredible performance because, again, let's rewind the clock. Like, first set, Rybakina was on absolute fire. Looked like she's going to be unbeatable. Serving well, ripping so hard the ball. I mean, and making the shots. I don't think Eala necessarily played poorly, but she was down 4-1, and then she just stayed with it. Just kept fighting, kept putting balls back in place, serving well, returning well in the second serve, and the first serve, but especially the second serve of Rybakina. Got the break back and just toughed out this first set. You know, a lot of errors from Rybakina, especially towards the end of it. And second set, just spectacular serving from Eala. Held serve the whole set. Came down twice from tricky moments in her service games. I think it was twice 15-30, and twice she delivered first serves. Is a very, very good performance from Eala, and it's she's going to be very dangerous on grass. Let's take a look at who she plays next. Let's take a look at the draw here in Berlin. Oh, Svitolina. That's going to be tough. Svitolina on grass is good. That's going to be tough. They never played each other before. That's going to be tough. There's a lot of great players in this tournament, but Dosa, who took out Goff against Noskova. Noskova behind Rybakina, one of the best servers on tour. We got Keys, who had a great match today against Muhova. She plays Pegula, who's, of course, a fantastic grass court player. And then Bartunkova, who's a fantastic player, with a very nice first name, Nikola, with a K. Nikola Bartunkova. She plays Sabalenka. So this tournament is stacked. It would be insane to say that Eala can win it, but let's see how she does against Svitolina. I think this is, again, the biggest result for Eala since Miami, this right here. Taking out Vekic and Rybakina back-to-back in straight sets is incredibly impressive. So, happy to have live streamed this, guys. Let's take a look at the chat. Are you guys excited to watch USA Soccer today, guys? USA Soccer today. Any USA Soccer fans in here? Everyone was saying Wimbledon was Novak's biggest chance after the start of the year and not so much after RG question mark. Oh, listen. I don't know. We have to wait till the draw comes out, but things have changed. You know what I mean? Like, it's true that Novak Djokovic just has limitations. If he expends too much energy, I think that becomes a factor later on in the tournament. But let's not talk about that right now. We need to see the draw first, and we'll talk a lot about what can happen in the men's draw. It's certainly going to be very, very interesting. Let's see here, guys. Ryba needs to do some thinking. That's 2 games that she has more than 40 errors. Yeah, this was for sure error-filled, this match from Rybakina, and it was so incredible because she didn't let off on her shots at all. independent of the score. It was like the most insane rips that you'll ever see, and down the line, or just completely ripping returns, ground strokes. It's one of these examples of what I say, like you blow yourself off the court. Like she blew herself off the court in this one, big time. You know what I mean? But again, it's a tricky though. Like it's like I said, it's easier said than done. Like from the couch, it's easy to say all this stuff, but on the court, it gets a little bit more complicated, you know, to correct this stuff. And because you can take other matches and compare them where she played like this and she won, and she's taken the Australian Open title, WTA Finals title, you know, Stuttgart title, final of Indian Wells. I don't think she played well in Stuttgart, though. I'll be honest. Like, even though she won that thing, she almost lost to Fernandez there. She saved 2 or 3 match points. She was very close to losing against Fernandez in the quarters. And I feel that when she couldn't convert that match point against Sabalenka in Indian Wells on her serve in the third set tiebreak, 6-5, after that, I feel like things went downhill a little bit for her. Level-wise, you know, even though she won Stuttgart, she made the semifinals of Miami where she lost to Sabalenka again in straight sets this time. I feel like the level went down, and then of course after Stuttgart it went down big time. You know, as I said in the beginning of the live stream, she didn't play well at all, you know, relative to her level or how she's been playing earlier this year. So when you're hyper-aggressive player like this and the confidence is low and you have lost a lot of matches that you shouldn't have, that explains why there are shanks and there are a lot of mistakes. So yeah, it's hard to say what's going on with her, but I still feel that, you know, she's a few wins away from regaining her confidence and going on another run at Wimbledon. But again, let's wait till the draw comes out. Let's wait until we see what happens in the next week and a half. Even Bad Homburg is going to be interesting. I don't know if you guys playing Bad Homburg again. So we'll see what happens there. A lot of tennis to be played prior to Wimbledon, and then we'll take a look at the draw and we'll go from there. We'll go from there, guys. It certainly is a very interesting match that I just watched. Incredible. Very, very strong performance of Eala, and I'm glad to have live streamed this one. Let's take a look at the schedule. Now let's see if I'm going to live stream something else tomorrow. And then I can announce it here. You guys can tune in. Let's see the schedule for tomorrow, guys. That's today. Hold on. Tomorrow. Wait. So tomorrow is quarterfinal. So Eala will play Svitolina tomorrow. So let me do that one again. I'll do another Eala match tomorrow, okay? Don't know what time they're playing yet, but it's probably going to be 11:30 again, based on the schedule right here. So let's do another Eala match tomorrow, guys. Why not? Why not? We'll do Eala again. We're going to ignore the men for a little while until Sinner comes back. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to do the men. I was going to do the Stuttgart final, but I had a little bit of a trouble with, I even made a thumbnail and everything. I posted it on Instagram, my Instagram stories. I was going to do a simultaneous broadcast, and then because the matches were overlapping, the women's final in Queens and the men's final in Stuttgart were overlapping, so I couldn't put that together technically. But I will definitely stream something from this week. Let's see. You know, Fritz and Shelton continue to do well. They're into the quarters. Those guys are grass court beasts. Zverev took out Hanfmann, who took out Fonseca 2-2. That was weird. I didn't expect that at all. I was going to live stream Zverev Fonseca. But let's see tomorrow, round of 16, Halle. No, quarterfinals would be. Shelton Fritz. What a nightmare. They just played each other. They play again tomorrow, but they play 5:30 a.m. That's too early. Got Altmaier Medvedev. That'll be a fun one. Tiafoe, Auger-Aliassime. Yeah, I don't know. And then probably Zverev after that. I don't know about this one. How about Queens? Let's check out Queens. Tommy Paul playing well. Takes out Van den Zandskool. Straight sets. Fokina is playing well too. He took out Mute. Let's see what time they're playing tomorrow. Quarterfinal, Diminar Akashima. Arthur Ferry in the quarters against Cerundolo. Let's check out Nottingham. You got some matches going on there as well. Remy Bertola won in straight sets against Mochizuki. Pliskova won in straight sets today. Was very impressive. Let's see who's playing tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Tatiana Maria also playing well in Nottingham. Talia Gibson against Pliskova. Okay, you know what? I'm going to do Eala tomorrow again. Just one. Maybe I'll do Shelton Fritz. But let me check again what time it starts. It was at 5:30, wasn't it? I just can't do 5:30. It's insane. If I don't get my sleep, I'm a wreck because I work late. I just can't do it. It's going to destroy my whole day. I would love to be able to do it, but I can't. I'm going to have to skip that one. I might do, if I have to get up for an important match in Wimbledon, I will, but I'll do Eala again tomorrow. And we'll just go from there, okay? Let me check out the chat. Will Rybakina still be the favorite for Wimbledon since she just lost 2 players outside the top 10? Look, I don't know. I said that she's a favorite for Wimbledon at the beginning of the stream. She's still a favorite, of course, for sure. But because Wimbledon is a whole nother side of the coin, you know what I mean? She's already won there, and you step foot on the center court, it's a whole nother thing. So of course she's going to be still the favorite, but you have to take this into consideration. People that tell you like all this stuff don't matter, these tournaments. No, this matters a lot. And of course it matters what's been happening since Stuttgart. So she's still a favorite, but you have to put this into the context for sure. All right. All right, guys. We started kind of slow in here with like 20 people for a while, but then it kind of filled up and it was over 100. It was like 140 or something at one point. So, it wasn't too bad. It was fun. Oh, I quit coffee through Tennis Vibe. I haven't had any, like I said, there was, after that live stream of a Rafa documentary, so it was last Monday. I quit coffee last Monday. I haven't had any. In an attempt to sleep better, to sleep longer. And I think it's worked to a certain extent. I've been sleeping a little bit better. So, yeah, no coffee, unfortunately. But Nixon 5. That's hilarious. All right, guys, you watched the USA team today. Support those guys. I'm definitely going to be watching that one. And again, like I said in the beginning, I was devastated today during this live stream because Croatia lost. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm Croatian, and Croatia lost to England 4-2. That was so hard to watch, especially after I was so excited after the first half. I would have taken 2-2. I would have taken that 1 point. But now we got 0 points, and we have to really do well now in the last couple of games to make it through the round of 16. So it's going to be brutal, but I hope for the best. Anyways, guys, we'll see you in the next one, okay? Tomorrow, again, another Eala match, okay? We'll see you guys then. You take care.